Okay, then we'll move on with Leandro Schabarum from Brazil. Okay.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. How are you all doing? My name is Leandro, as you said. I've developed a way to model the human gait, so it was possible to describe how someone should walk and compare it to what someone is actually walking. Doing that, we can diagnose for future diseases and help them enhance like rehabilitation treatments to prevent that you got out from a rehabilitation treatment without knowing that you're actually better. So first we have to define the walking system. To do that, we look and only look at one step at a time. And that's literally. We separate the whole gait into steps, and we see how changes in height and forward speed would affect that. And by knowing how it affected in those small steps, we could then improve it to define it for the whole gait. So I ran some tests, and from them I took raw data that I analyzed, so I could find the average movement for one person's step. That step I could then describe as a function for each minimum and maximum point of graphs of trajectory. So changes in speed and height would account for those changes. So those are the average movements for heel and knee trajectories. And the first two graphs account for vertical and horizontal movement over time. And the last two account for knee in the same vertical and horizontal over time. Doing that, I could then use Lagrange's method to find a polynomial function, capable of describing that cycle. And describing that cycle, knowing how speed and height changes and contributes to those changes, is a big step to define that one step. And to get further on, it's simpler. You just add more steps. To do that, I used Fourier series to convert that function into a periodic equation. And by doing that, I could model the whole gait. And a neat thing about Fourier is that throughout transformation, we can see those equations as the sum of other simpler functions. And analyzing those frequencies, we could find a normal frequency for a healthy gait and compare it with other frequencies. And knowing what those other frequencies are, we could define like if someone can or can't have a future Parkinson's disease, for example. Or knowing that someone has a healthy gait and has been through an accident or something, and he's doing rehabilitation, that those frequencies aren't getting back to normal after treatment. So this could help assist on that evaluation of treatments. That could help provide diagnosis for future diseases, and especially develop a way to make a standard that is rigorous and is specifically designed for each individual. That's my work, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have a question? Perfect, thank you. Yes, down here.
Hi. Would you like to find that there's a standard way of walking that is the optimal way of walking for everyone? Or would it be like specific for each person?
Yeah, there's a pattern that happens when you walk, but that pattern can slightly change from person to person. It depends in a way of seeing how those different variables work on it, and that's why height and speed are so important in this. You can control height because we only have one, and speed because you're walking on a treadmill. You can set up that speed. So if you know those two variables for each person, you can account for that. So it is not universal in a way, but you can treat it as universal, but thinking individually.
But like for an example, I have broken foot right now, and I'm
Okay.
gonna do rehab later. So would they have to know like how I walked before and my height
No.
before, or just how I'm walking now?
If we know your height and the speed in which you're walking, like if you're going on a treadmill, we are setting up that speed and we're taking your measurements, we can predict how you should walk and then measure how you're walking at that moment and compare both. Comparing both is where you'll find if it is close enough to be considered healthier or if it is a bit far and you need to get further treatment.
Okay.
I think
I think I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. There are more questions over there, up there.
Hello. Thank
Hello.
you for your presentation. I'm just wondering, like you show on the pictures here, what if you lose a limb? Is there a new standard for persons who has lost limbs from under the knees? Because it has to make a difference, right?
Yes.
For the standard.
If you have a prosthesis, you should be able to account for that. Because you should be able to regain your walking capability. Obviously, that prosthesis will interfere in a way, but we should be able to make the most out of the walking that you can do with that prosthesis. So if you can do like 98% of your like walking prior to losing a limb, you should get that 98%. You shouldn't get less. So having a way to rigorously analyze that and making sure that 98 is the best you can get is like a good way to make sure that you're still able to walk, but not getting anything less than that 98 that you should be walking.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There was one more question, I think. Just some, yeah.
Is there more factors like the body's weight or body structures that is affect the results?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question because I've studied two variables. Now I'm currently working on the third one, which is weight. And weight plays a big role in this because you see, with the results I got now, the difference between what I can calculate and what can be measured, the difference go less than 5%, which is pretty close for two variables and 7 subjects. The idea is that if we could like assign more variables, such as weight, we could reduce that number. We could be more precise because we would understand more variables and see how they play their role in walking. But increasing subjects is another way to like seeing the universal model of it. So weight is a big, big part of understanding the gait, and it is being accounted for right now.
There's one more question down here.
I'm just wondering how you came up with the idea of making a research about this. Is this something that you have, like, something that has affected you before, or was it just something that came to your interest?
Yeah, it was a not so funny of a story, but it actually had to do with the image that I was passing to my professors. And it was not quite the right one. So I had a bit of a hard time getting through math. So finding someone that I could enjoy and even get something out of it while doing something for the community was like a big deal. And even to show my professors that I could do more, that I should do more, because that's a way to help not only improving your surroundings, but improving yourself and giving them the opportunity to see you growing and yourself be able to get out something from that. That's like the main thing that I thought when I started the research. The idea itself, like a mathematical model, my first idea was just to build a robot. So it wasn't nothing like that. So I just went for the theoretical part and tried to elaborate something more theoretical and join math to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, all right. I take the presenter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.